So good evening, everyone. Sorry about that. So I want to welcome you this evening, school board directors, members of the public, all of our families, students, to my team. We're just going to start, but we're waiting for a few board members to come down, but we're going to have the pre-meeting. So this is not the official meeting because we do have a solicitor here. He's going to make sure that I follow the law. So, but we're going to bring the students out now because their families are here. And we apologize. We're starting a little late. We ran over an executive session. So at this time, without further ado, let's give a roaring round of applause for Washington Elementary School. Led under the direction of Miss Churchnick. Miss Come on, we can do a better round of applause than that. This is a new after-school club that was established. As a district, we are making huge investments in the arts. And so we are excited. And those outfits are so cute. They are. Thank you. You got those pretty eyes in your head, you know it. You got me dancing on my best to let me show it. You are exactly what I want. Calling from the night. You, yeah, we're driving down the freeway at night. We got one thing. It's maybe myself with you. Some real fun. Because I only got one thing. Sunroof. Yeah, we're driving down the freeway at night. We got one thing in the back of my mind. Feeling like it's would be my time to start with you, with you, with you. The sunroof, I'm not gonna between. I only got one thing. Sunroof. Can everybody go in around? Come on, absolutely, please, please. Even the old lady. Please, please. Oh, absolutely. Come on in. Let's give it up for Washington. Go Washington. Yes. Great job. Administration. Great job. Thank you so much. Also tonight, we have another performance from Ritter Elementary School. Have Drew Stout, Amelia Perez, David Vargas, Michaela, Essie, Essa. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Ileana Jimenez. Let's give a round of applause. Since increasing the related arts this school year, the program at Ritter has grown tremendously, and we are really excited to have our students perform for us tonight. So go Ritter.
The first song we would like to share with you tonight. My name is Mr. Buselitz, and I teach elementary instrumental music at Moser, Sheridan, and of course, Ritter. We're here tonight to show off, and we want to start with a warm-up song called A River at Night. Warm up because we want to get everything moving. Warm up also because we're nervous.
And that's all right.
Smiles all around to help us feel much better.
That's all right.
And I want to thank Mr. Buselitz, Ms. Connell, Mr. Khan. I want to thank all of you for your support of our students and appreciate your dedication. That was sensation. Do we have another number? Okay. Yes, sure.
Now, Ileana is going to show off on her cello playing a song called Ripples in a Pond.
Hi, Mama. Get it.
That was Ileana Jimenez. Woo!
And now for our final song, Amelia, David, Michaela, and Drew are going to show off now on a song I wrote just for them.
Okay.
It's called A Bumpy Road. See if you can hear in your mind the vision of the bumps coming in the road.
Okay. Okay.
Amelia and Drew. David, give him a roaring round of applause, a little louder. Sorry, my microphone's not working. Let's give our team of educators as the families. Can you please give them a round of applause? Will the families please stand? I know you're so proud. Keep up the great work. Our students, keep playing. We're looking forward to going to your every competition that you're going to win for us. So we're speaking that into existence. Yes. And speaking of winning, I just got word that Deer of High School won a Freddie Award for for lighting so far. So we're hoping some more awards are coming. So we should be happy for Deer of High School. Go Allentown. Yes. So I'm going to turn, well, I have some few more remarks, but I'm going to just give it back to Miss Madison so we can officially open the meeting.
I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Board of Directors for the School District of City of Allentown for today, May 23rd, 2024. Prior to tonight's meeting, an informational executive session was held. The purpose of the executive session was to engage in informational updates presented to the board on confidential personnel issues, confidential matters pertaining to special education, legal matters, a discussion on real estate projects, new schools, tax assessment, and the impact of the NIS on the district. Consultation with Charter School Council regarding charter school renewal applications, consultation with the district solicitor regarding the legal status of the Allentown School District Foundation and the Allentown Public Library. My colleagues on the board, we are now requesting your permission to amend the agenda and add an item for consideration because it came to our attention within the past 24 hours, and there is no district cost involved, making it a de minimis action. We would like to add approval of the flexible instructional day plan, which must be filed with the Pennsylvania Department of Education no later than June 1st. If there is any public comment on this item, it can be taken during public comment on agenda items. But I would now ask, may I have a maker and a seconder to add that item?
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
And we have a maker and a seconder. Is there any discussion on that motion? Would you call the roll, please?
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Matheson,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Ms. Ortiz,
Yes.
Ms. Ramirez, Ms. Sierra,
Yes.
Mr. Versio,
Yes.
motion passes 8-0.
Thank you. The board welcomes and invites public comment. You may address the board on agenda or non-agenda items. The first opportunity for comment is at the beginning of the meeting and is limited to agenda items only. Comment cards must be received by the start of the meeting, which is now. We will not be receiving public cards once the meeting begins. A copy of the public comment policy is located on the table next to the comment cards. According to our board's policy, any person may address the board in accordance with the procedures and limitations of this policy, either on issues presented in resolutions being considered or on other matters affecting the administration, management, or operation of the district. Remarks of a personal nature directed against any individual will be ruled out of order. If you choose to address the board, please fill out a comment card and hand it to the board secretary, Mr. Simonson. Once recognized, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and kindly limit your remarks to 3 minutes. We will now have roll call. Mr. Secretary?
Ms. Brown,
Present.
Ms. Conover,
Present.
Ms. Harris,
Here.
Ms. Matheson,
Here.
Ms. Noel,
Here.
Ms. Ortiz,
Here.
Ms. Ramirez, Ms. Sierra,
Here.
Mr. Versio.
Here.
We have 8 members present.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence.
To the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. As you can see, our board president is present virtually this evening. Madam President, do you have any remarks?
A small remark. I'm just so excited for what's happening right now on the Freddy's. Dira has won their 2nd award for small ensemble. So it's just so exciting to see that our kids are winning and experiencing this. They work so hard. And I know Alan is going to win some too. So I'm just very excited. And thank you for the families that are there tonight. All the administrators that are there that have been pouring into our students. And we're seeing the fruits of our labor. So I'm just really excited for the district right now.
Madam Superintendent?
Thank you, Ms. Matheson. Good evening again, everyone. Just continuing on with celebrations. We are so excited. I love winning. I'm like, go dear us. So we are so excited tonight. But continuing on the celebrations for students who are present in the room, the Workforce Development Board has been a great partner of the Lehigh Valley with us. And tonight they'd like to recognize three of our students, Luis Avando, Jazamara Mendez, Mira Mitiv. Jazamara is a student at Building 21, and Mira attends DIRAF for participating as student representatives on the Workforce Development Board. So my friend, Miss Sarah, is going to come tonight and talk a little bit about the students. Sarah Lutz from the Workforce Development Board. Let's give Sarah a round of applause. She works really hard for our students.
Good evening. Thank you for that introduction, Dr. Burks. I'm thrilled to be here on behalf of the Workforce Board, Lehigh Valley. We would like to recognize three exceptional Allentown School District students who were active participants in our student representative program this school year. As Dr. Burks mentioned, that is William Allen High School senior Luis Avando, Deeriff High School senior Miara Mitef, and Building 21 junior Jazz Mendez. The Workforce Board Lehigh Valley Student Representative Program, sponsored by the Bosch Community Fund, is a career awareness and leadership program for 20 high school students who represent 20 public high schools and 17 school districts in the Lehigh Valley. One student from each high school is nominated by their administrators or guidance counselors to participate in the program. As student representatives, Luis, Miara, and Jazz participated in college and career readiness activities and workshops throughout the summer and school year. They crafted resumes, LinkedIn profiles, took professional headshots, and explored training and credential obtainment through the online learning platform SkillUp PA, funded by the PA Department of Labor. Luis, Miara, and Jazz learned about careers and educational pathways from expert employers and PA CareerLink Lehigh Valley career counselors. They went on tours of renowned companies throughout the Lehigh Valley and were featured in many of our media campaigns. Luis in particular was featured on billboards across the Lehigh Valley in 2022. Miara starred in our seniors only job fair video that was sent out to 20 high schools in the Valley. And Jazz hosted an employer spotlight film with H&L Lab Medicine. We thank these students for their dedication to the program and wish them the best of luck in their next step. So at this time, I'd like to present these students with their certificates as well as a Visa gift card as a token of our appreciation. Thank you so much, and students, please join us up front for a photograph.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Are you behind me?
So I want to be able to say this publicly because I was really excited. And one evening, Miss Brown, Mr. Simonson and I attended the Air Force JROTC's military ball. And we were pleasantly surprised that Miara received a $287,000 scholarship from Lehigh University. we were moved with emotion and we were so excited because we were all surprised about this. And I just want to say we are so extremely proud of you, Miara, and she's definitely representing us well. I mean, to receive such a recognition, and we are so proud. It's like my student. So we want to say thank you. Yeah, Miara, do you want to stand again, please? Can you stand again? Oh, yeah. Let's give her a round of applause. $287,000.
Yeah, thank you.
I am incredibly honored to be able to accept the scholarship from Lehigh University. I will be going to Lehigh to study for mechanical engineering and business administration.
All right.
Also, when I graduate, my plan is to commission as an Army officer.
Wow.
See, she didn't even know she had to present, but she was ready. You know, an exceptional student, a great leader, and I'm just so honored and to serve as your superintendent. And I want to thank you because I had an opportunity to work closely with their AFJROTC, and they attend so many events at the district, and they've completed more than, let me get the right number. How many hours now?
1,800 hours.
1,800 hours of community service. So we appreciate you. We wish you all the best and we love you. Keep going. Keep representing us well. Thank you. Okay.
Amazing.
Lastly, we want to recognize two of our own who were recently honored by the Era of Lehigh in Northampton County. The ARC, I'm sorry, is that ARC? This year, Christy Staffiank and Jillian Derhammer from Deer High School are recipients of the Alan D. Diebler Advocacy Award. Let's give them a round of applause. We're going to take this time because we have to honor our own. We're going to take a picture. So I hope everyone is okay with that, because when you do great things, you should be acknowledged and celebrated for the great things that you do. It's great to do great work and to be appreciated. And we appreciate you. We're going to take this picture. So everybody just wait a second. Okay, let's go.
All right. Now.
Mr. Stick is going to join because these are two of our special education educators. I just want to talk a little about the award. It's presented to individuals who demonstrate exceptional efforts to improve the lives of individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities in the Lehigh Valley by advocating for their rights, welfare, and quality of life, with particular emphasis on efforts to effect systemic change. So we are so honored that you are advocating for our children. And it takes a lot to be selfless and to be such servant leaders to support our children, especially our children who have been identified as the most vulnerable. So I say I honor you, I salute you, and I thank you and continue to do a great job. Okay. Again, I said my remarks. Okay, I said off the top of my head. So that's what I wanted to. So thank you so much again. And back to you, Ms. Matheson. Those conclude my remarks for right now.
At this time, we are taking public comments only on agenda items. Do we have any cards?
Not on agenda items.
May I have a motion for the approval of the minutes? We have a maker. Do we have a seconder?
Second.
Have a seconder. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Conover,
Yes.
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Matheson,
Yes.
Ms. Noel.
Yes.
No- Thank you. Ms. Ortiz,
Yes.
Ms. Sierra,
Yes.
Ms. Tiburcio,
Yes.
Ms. Brown.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0.
Thank you. Now we have a series of information updates from the Allentown Human Relations Commission. Ms. Brown, is there anything tonight?
Yes. After much anticipation, the Allentown Human Relations Commission has finally received investigations training from the Pennsylvania State Human Relations Commission. The commission is thrilled to announce that next month, on June 6th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., the commission will undergo further training. This session will focus on the role of a commissioner and how to educate the community on jurisdiction related to protected class discrimination and civil rights laws. The Human Relations Commission will continue to strengthen its learning so that we can serve the community as an informed commission body. Thank you.
In the Allentown Public Library, Ms. Harris, Ms. Conover, Mr. Bercio, is there anything?
With the library, the most updated information was the summer programs that they're working on to have for the community.
From the Allentown Recreation Committee, Ms. Sierra, Ms. Tiburcio, anything?
Yes, they would like more information as part of the Lights On program, so I will be conducting a meeting, Dr. Burks, between me and you to find a resolution to that.
From the Allentown School District Foundation, Ms. Knoll?
Yes. Several of ASD Foundation's spring programs are winding down over the next couple of weeks, including literacy volunteers, reading is rewarding, STEAM Club Junior, visual art residencies, middle school strings, and teacher innovation grants. The ASD Foundation is grateful for all the volunteers, staff members, and community partners and donors who have helped make these positive educational experiences available to thousands of students in Allentown School District. I'm sorry. Oh, my throat, I'm so sorry. If you are attending Mayfair at Cedar Crest College this weekend, please stop by the Foundation's booth inside Lee's Hall, where we are displaying ASD student artwork created in our residency programs or through the William Allen's Arts Alliance. Beautiful note cards and frame prints will be available in exchange for a donation that helps fund future art programs for ASD students. Additionally, everyone is invited to attend our Teacher Innovation Grant reception on Monday, June 3rd from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. here at the ASD Administration Building. Many of this year's 24 grant recipients will share their projects, student benefits, and what they learned. Exhibits open at 4 p.m. in the lobby and presentations begin at 4:30 p.m. in the boardroom. Lastly, ASD high schools will soon announce the name of the graduating seniors they've selected to receive close to 60 scholarships administered by ASD Foundation. Please join us in congratulating these students as well as all the students who are graduating from Building 21, Deroff, or William Allen in June. That ends my report.
And do you also have a report from the Carbon Lehigh Intermediate Unit?
Yes, bear with my voice. President William reminded the board that the annual Carbon Lehigh Special Needs Children's Foundation Golf Tournament will take place on June 18, 2024 at Old Homestead Golf Course in New Tripoli. The tournament raises funds for the foundation, which aims to enhance educational and recreational opportunities for the children with special needs in Carbon and Lehigh counties. Notable, the foundation funded both Bobby Ray and LLASIE and CLI Youth Facilities dogs, and also the adaptive bikes in partnership with the Variety Charity. On the evening of Monday, May 20th, 2024, the board received the nominations report and conducted an election for the 2024-2025 CLIU Board of Directors officers. The motion to approve and retain the current board officers passed unanimously, and the following members were reelected to their respective positions: President George Williams, Vice President Sherry Hass, and Treasurer Gail Husak. Also, the board approved a lease for 4001 Schoolhouse Lane in Center Valley. This location would house the Allentown Learning and Achievement School and the Lehigh County Enhanced Autism Program. We anticipate taking occupancy in December and are very pleased to have secured this location, which will provide improved facilities for our students. That ends my report.
From Lehigh Career and Technical Institute, Ms. Conover.
Good evening, all. I don't have much to report tonight, but I will tell you the Allentown School District has 13 cooperative students that will be graduating. I will not call the students' names, but I will mention their programs and where their employers are. From William Allen, we have a culinary student, and they're working at PJ Willihan's. A plumbing student who's at Deluxe Plumbing, a welding student who's at David Hohenschultz, an auto body student that's at Reliable Auto Body, an auto body student who's at Scott Chevy Collision, an auto body student. So let me just stop. There was 3 from William Allen, and then the others they're from Deerf. Or did I get that backwards? It's Deerf and then William Allen. So 3 from Deerf, and the others are from William Allen. We have an auto body student from Reliable Auto Body, auto technology student that's at Vinehart Honda, auto technology that's working at Lexus, health medical at St. Luke's Hospital, marketing that's at Men's Warehouse, and precision machine that's at Micro Tool, supply chain management, Tiber Medical, and welding at East Penn Manufacturing. So that's 13 of our students. So we need to give them a round of applause. Also, I want to make note that their senior recognition night is just 1 week away. It's on a Wednesday, which is May 31st at the PPL Center. And I did not tell my colleagues, but they did send me back with tickets and parking passes. So all that can attend, or if you have a student or if you know someone, it will be wonderful for all of our students to see as many of us show up and support them. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. City Youth Initiative, Ms. Sierra.
Yes, we're currently working on the reorganization of the board, so I should have more updates next meeting.
And we're ready for reports from our high schools. And from Building 21, Irialni Rodriguez Enriquez.
Hello, everyone. My name is Irlani, and I will be presenting the report for Building 21 this evening. Kimberly Arias is under the weather and is sorry she can't be with us tonight. Sorry. May was a busy month at Building 21. On May 10th, we celebrated 129 students from our building for excellence in attendance, behavior, and academic performance. Our building was packed with families who came to celebrate their students. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Unfortunately, our planned May 10th walk was canceled because the weather didn't cooperate. But on May 8th, our students designed, hosted, and attended our Mental Health Awareness Fair. Students engaged with student-led self-care activities and community partners who came to support the day. May 16th was our 2024 art exhibition and festival. Titled Arts Alive, the event included student artwork, live art making, open mic, and other activities. On May 22nd, our seniors began celebrating the end of their time at Building 21 with a trip to the American Dream Mall in New Jersey. There isn't a lot of time left this school year, but we still have many events to look forward to. This year's prom, the Golden Gala, will be taking place on Saturday, May 25th at 6 p.m. The gala will take place in the event space at Fegley's on Hamilton. On Tuesday, May 28th, our entire school community will be celebrating the end of the year with a picnic at Cedar Beach Park. That same Tuesday night, we have 6 different student projects being displayed at the ASD Multidisciplinary Project Expo. We hope to see you all at Brigadier General Anna Mae Hayes Elementary School as we celebrate excellence in student learning from across the district. Our seniors will spend next week presenting their capstone projects. We can't wait to see how they have translated their years of learning into impact on our community. Our 9th to 11th graders are preparing to end the year by sharing their presentations of learning, where they will reflect upon their growth this year and share their goals for when we return to school in the fall. And finally, the class of 2024 will celebrate their graduation at Miller Symphony Hall on Wednesday, June 12th. This is our 6th graduating class, and this year we are excited to welcome our first ever alumni speaker at graduation. And that's it from Bulletin 21 for the 2023-2024 school year. Thank you for including student voices in this meeting every month. We wish everyone a successful end to the school year.
Thank you. From William Allen, Allison Morales.
Good evening. As always, it's a great day to be a Canary. During the month of May, there have been many things happening on William Allen. Here's just a few highlights. Teacher Appreciation Week, our teachers were commended for raising the bar for the students at William Allen High School and treated each day to a lunch bar of some type. We are honored to have the teachers and staff we have at William Allen as they go above and beyond for the students. Congratulations to Sikora Floyd and Augie Quantrini on being named the 2024 Lehigh Valley Live Junior Bowlers of the Year. Junior ROTC have held their annual awards ceremony this month. Elmore Skates Enterprise Award winners went to Joshua Trotter, London Polanco, Joshua Evans, and Melanie Bays Martinez. Keystone testing was completed. We had a huge participation with over 70% of the students completing the test. The William Allen Athletic Department wrapped up the spring season at the end of the year. The spring season ended with the following highlights. The following student athletes qualified for all qualified District 11 track and field championships: senior J.S. Allen, junior Keith Jackson, sophomore Nazir Chapman in the high jump, junior Kaylee Martin in throwing events, sprinter Bilton Tanis, and rally runners Kiara Hairston, and Alicia Rodriguez, Zavani Trader, and Nevaeh Brown. The Allen softball team finished their season with a big win over the Darab Huskies on senior day, where senior pitcher Jaylene Garcia de Jesus, who is headed to Cookstown University, pitched a complete game, and Morgan Brown, shortstop Ashley Cruz, has some big hitting. The Allen baseball team wrapped up a strong season, doubling their wins from last year, including big wins against Whitehall and Mayes and a sweep over Darab, including the season finale when senior Trevor Golden hit a walk-off double to win 2-1 on senior day. The spring season student athletes who were named to the East Penn Conference All-League teams were Calvin Long in boys volleyball. Calvin is headed to Lehigh University in softball. Shortstop Ashley Cruz in softball headed to Moravian University. Junior outfield Macy Reynoso in baseball. Senior infielder Trevor Golden going to El Tri-C. Junior catcher Luis Reyes. Allen Athletic held their end of the year award ceremony on Tuesday, May 21st. For the first time in over 15 years, Allen Athletic have brought the award ceremony back to a dinner-style banquet, holding the event in Muhlenberg College for a beautiful night to celebrate with our student athletes. The event center was packed with well over 225 guests. The full list of awards can be found by visiting allenathletics.org. Among those recognitions were 13 students who have committed to play their sport at college level, 12 nominees for the East Penn Conference Scholar Athlete. The moment of the year winner was Allen Boys Soccer beating Easton in the overtime District 11 playoff game at JBC Stadium. The male athlete of the year was Aaron Schneider, who was headed to D-Cells for baseball, and female athlete of the year was Ashley Cruz, heading to Moravian University for softball. But perhaps the highlight of the night was Gage Dan Necker Perseverance Award. Gage is an Allen alumni who is a blind student athlete that still was a three-sport athlete. Gage was still with us to present this award, which went to senior Barack Moyes, a boys soccer player who has as a young boy in middle school escaped the war torn I'm so sorry. Democratic Republic of Congo, and this year was captain of Allen's boys soccer team that won a district playoff game for the first time in close to 20 years. Barack and Gage received a standing ovation from their classmates and peers, a true living example of Allentown perseverance. Finally, Mr. Attio would like to thank all those who came out to support the William Allen student athletes all year long. Thank you, and this was all for me.
Thank you. And from Darif, Nina Rivera? She there? Okay. I'm figuring out that with summer just around the corner, this is your last formal meeting with us for this year. Are either of you graduating this year?
I'm not. I am graduating this year, but I'm not sure if this is our last meeting.
Because your school year will be over by the time we have our June meeting.
Oh, I'll still be coming to the June.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I really just wanted to say thank you so much
Oh.
for giving us reports this year, and congratulations, and have a really good summer.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead.
I just want to make sure the students know that we are going to celebrate you and all your contributions of the year at our You Are the Light celebration. So I want to just share that with the board. So we're excited about you. We're going to have a big event next Wednesday. May 29th, May 30th, give me the right date. But next week you will have the invitation. Do I have the right date? Yeah, Thursday, yes. So next Thursday at Cedar Crest College. So you'll be there and we will showcase your contributions, and we're so happy that you've served on the board this year. Thank you.
May I have a motion for the Board of Directors report?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
And we have a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Matheson,
Yes.
Ms. Noel,
Yes.
Ms. Ortiz,
Yes.
Ms. Sierra,
Yes.
Ms. Tiburcio,
Yes.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Conover.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0.
May I have a motion for the approval of the policy report?
So move.
Is there
Second.
a second? We have Maker and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yes, can you hear me?
Mhm.
I just want to say, I feel so much better about getting these policies out. When I looked and saw all these policies, I'm outdone. Thank you to everybody who worked on it, and thank you, Ms. Harris, who is our policy chair.
And thank you to policy members of the administration, especially Ms. General, y'all been, and Dr. Savoy, y'all been kicking them out. So I thank you very much.
Anything else?
We have a curriculum.
Please call the roll.
Ms. Matheson,
Yes.
Ms. Noel,
Yes.
Ms. Ortiz,
Yes.
Ms. Sierra,
Yes.
Ms. Tiburcio,
Yes.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Conover,
Yes.
Ms. Harris.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0.
May I have a motion for the approval of the Secretary and Treasurer report?
I make that motion.
All right, we have a
Second.
maker. Do we have a seconder?
I'll second.
And we have a seconder. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Matheson,
Yes.
Ms. Noel,
Yes.
Ms. Ortiz,
Yes.
Ms. Sierra,
Yes.
Ms. Tiburcio,
Yes.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Conover,
Yes.
Ms. Harris.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0.
May I have a motion for the approval of the superintendent's report?
So move.
Second.
We have a maker and a seconder. Is there any discussion?
Yes, actually.
Go.
So I would like to say to my colleagues, I am humble and excited about what we as a district have accomplished thus far. Whew, I'm excited. And the plans we have for the future. I am extremely optimistic about being a model district, as our colleague Lisa Conover states and speaks into existence. Our commitment to supporting innovation and diversity is paramount, as it ensures that every student feels valued and represented. The importance of representation cannot be overstated. When young students see themselves reflected in their leaders, teachers, and peers, it instills a sense of belonging and possibility. Having diversity throughout our district strengthens our community, fostering a richer, more inclusive environment where every voice is heard and respected. It is incredibly empowering to have a school named after Ruby Bridges, a symbol of courage and resilience. Her legacy inspires us to come together and work toward a future where everyone, regardless of background, has the opportunity to thrive. As we continue to build on our achievements, let us remain steadfast in our dedication to creating a supportive and diverse educational landscape for all. So I just want my fellow colleagues to just take a look around this room. There was a point in time when we didn't sit in a room like this together. So as we embark on this new journey as the district of Allentown School District, we're doing this together collectively as a people. So be proud of yourselves. And I'm so excited. And that's all I wanted to say to you all.
Is there any other discussion?
Yes, I'd like to thank Miss Lisa Conover for her. Yes, I do want to thank you for what you did with the naming of the schools and what you propelled. I want to thank you for that and let you know that the work that you do, we see you. We see how you advocate. We see how you advocate for other students, for for special education especially, and for when it comes to making sure that it's what we put in here, like you always say, and what comes out. So I thank you very much for that, Lisa.
I'll say thank you to everybody, but I'm a very humble person. And I just want you guys to know it's not about me. It's about the students that we serve and the families that we serve. I also want to say that I was not the only person on that naming committee, so I want that to be very clear. But I don't take anything that anyone says lightly, but I give God all the glory and all the honor. It's definitely not about me, so I just want to make that clear.
Amen.
With that being said, we
Thank
have
you.
to be able to celebrate each other. So
Yes.
I support you all.
But I believe in giving honor where honor is due.
That's right. Credit.
Go ahead.
credit is due. Mhm.
Thank you, Ms. Conover. Yeah, I wanted to just take the time to thank everyone who participated in the school naming committee.
Amen.
There were, we had broad-based public engagement through this process, and people were
Yes.
able to submit names for both of our schools. And some of those members, there were members, teachers and administrators, as well as our nonprofit and corporate partners who took part and took this very seriously about the naming of both of our schools. So I'm really excited. And some of them are in the room today, and we do have, Madam Chair, defer to you. I know, and I don't want to be out of order, so I want to make sure I'm in line with the solicitor. We do have, and I don't know if I can do this during my part. We do have a presentation showing the public how we came to these two names. Is that appropriate to share? Okay, and so, but I'd like for everyone who's a part of it, if you could just please stand for a moment for naming of both schools. If you could just please stand. Let's give them a round of applause, please. We're gonna come in a moment just to give a quick overview, but I would be remiss if I didn't thank our friends from B. Braun, who they are making commitment to our in a little while, our new Supreme Court Justice Sotomayor School. They were part of the naming process, as well as our President of the City Council, Dr. Mota. So, and our friend, Mr. Julian Goridi from Senator Miller's office. So they were some key partners, and we're very serious about that, and other leaders. So I want to acknowledge them. So our team is coming to do a quick overview of how we got to the school naming process. So Principal Griffin, Principal Ponte, Principal Gill, and Miss Ramos. Let's give my team a round of applause. I want to thank the school board directors as well for your passion and commitment. Ms. Moreras was on the naming committee for the Sotomayor School, and Ms. Conover, and who else was on that one? Because I wasn't in that meeting. And Miss, thank you, Miss Matheson.
Miss Basel as well,
Committee
Miss
as
Ramirez.
well.
You were there?
and the
Good.
community as well.
Yeah, well, the collective, I thought I said nonprofit, everybody, so, and everyone took the surveys and everything, so everyone, I'll say that, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, because I think I said that, but I'm gonna say it again if people misunderstood me not acknowledging. A lot of people took the surveys and submitted names. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Burks. We just have a short presentation just to help the public and the community understand the process and how we got to what the recommendation is this evening. And the process was initiated by policy, Ms. Conover, policy 701.1, which drove the process where we got solicit input from the community. We initiated a survey back at the end of April. That survey remained open through May 16th, where the community had an opportunity to submit recommendations for both schools, the Early Childhood Center and the Dual Language Immersion Academy. And with that, these amazing leaders over here spearheaded the process. Ms. Aponte and Mr. Weiss is at a learning session and couldn't be here. They oversaw the Dual Language Immersion Academy process, and Ms. Griffin and Ms. Mercado oversaw the process for naming the Early Childhood Center. That included bringing together two committees. The first committee, as Ms. Brown mentioned, and Dr. Burks and everybody, the Dual Language Immersion Academy Committee, which included Ms. Harris, Ms. Ramirez, and as I said, was chaired by Ms. Aponte and Mr. Weiss. It included students, staff, support staff, parents, and representatives of, as Dr. Burks mentioned, from our legislative offices. Dr. Cynthia Mota was a part of that, and community partners from B. Braun and from a nonprofit, Criando Puentes. Our Early Childhood Center Committee was encompassed by Ms. Lisa Conover and Ms. Audrey Matheson, and as I said, was chaired by Ms. Katie Gill Mercado and Ms. Kate Griffin. And again, that committee was comprised of both a first grade student and a fifth grade student, and students and staff from both Dodd and Union Terrace Elementary School, because much of their kindergarten population will get to enjoy the new Early Childhood Center. Does anyone want to talk about the process, Ms. Ponte?
Hi, the process. Good afternoon. Good evening, everyone. Jennifer Aponte, nice to meet you all. Honored to be here. Our process included following policy, as Ms. Ramos mentioned, parents, students, teachers engaged in the process. We shared a form with everyone. Once the committee was together, we had a criteria that they voted. We went over each and every single nomination from the community. We voted based on the 4 criteria identified in our form and presented then the top 3 candidates to our committee, which then presented to you our top vote today.
Thank you, Ms. Aponte. And the criteria are listed up on the screen. The character of the proposed honoree, the contributions to the school, to education, and the effects that that name may have on the school and community. So as you can see, those choices very much align with the selection criteria that we used. So tonight, the motion is on the table. There are recommendations for the Sonia Sotomayor Dual Language Immersion Academy, which we're excited about, and we're hoping that we get some face time in one way or another. And then we know Ruby Bridges Early Childhood Center, which is super exciting. I can't wait to get her photos and things up in that school. And in addition to those 2 items, I just want to make sure that everyone's aware that the other school naming that is on the agenda included in this motion is to rename the Central Elementary School, the Central Elementary Stream Academy. So there's 3 naming items tonight that you're considering. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is it time to make it official?
Yeah, yes. But again, I want to thank everyone, all. We, as I mentioned, we had a broad-based public engagement from across the district, our internal learning community and our external learning community from every sector, corporate, families, students, you name it, educators, everyone. I thank you, and we're excited, Ms. Matheson. So thank you so much.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Ms. Ortiz,
Yes.
Ms. Sierra,
Yes.
Mr. Bercio,
Yes.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Conover, Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Matheson,
Yes.
Ms. Noel.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0.
And that makes all of these new names official. May I have a motion for approval of the personnel report?
I make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Ms. Sierra,
Yes.
Mr. Bercio,
Yes.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Conover, Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Matheson,
Yes.
Ms. Noel.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes 8-0.
Okay. May I have a motion to approve the finance report?
I make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a maker and a seconder. Is there any discussion?
Yes. I want to thank the facilities department because they're going to be doing a lot of work this summer. We have like 25 projects, just that not including our normal things we do in the summer. So I just want to give a big shout out to them.
Anything else? Okay, please call the roll.
Ms. Sierra,
Yes.
Mr. Bercio,
Yes.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Conover, Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Matheson,
Yes.
Ms. Noel.
Yes.
Motion Ms. Ortiz,
Yes.
motion passes 8-0.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we're taking public comments on non-agenda items. Do we have any cards?
We do. Megan Tuttle?
Ooh, what-
Hello.
Good
I'm gonna
evening.
set my timer. Okay. Okay. Hello to the school board of directors, Dr. Burks, and everyone in the room. My name is Megan Tuttle. I'm a doctoral student in education at a local university, and I've also been a practicum student in Allentown Public Schools for 2 years. I've worked with over 60 students, and I can say that I truly adore each of them. And I love Allentown School District because of all the people that I've met here. So I'm here after learning today that there will be there may be significant cuts to early reading intervention specialist positions serving K through second grade in Allentown. So the reading success rate in Allentown, according to the usnews.com, is that 64% of students are not proficient in reading in Allentown. Whereas in Bethlehem, only a few miles away, there's 25% more students are proficient in reading. The fact is that even having had the early reading position for 2 years, the district continues to be flooded with the amount of children who are floundering in reading. I'm thinking about my student, Anna, that's a pseudonym. She's a 5th grade student currently. And last year when I met her, I learned that she was still at a kindergarten level in 4th grade, and yet no teacher had noticed her or given her a reading intervention until that moment. When we referred her for more intervention services, I'm wondering, so 2 years ago or 3 years ago when this program started, I think it was 2 years ago, before that it started when she was in 3rd grade. So maybe if it had been around when she was in 2nd grade, she might have been noticed. And so these are real students that it's impacting. And so I just wanted to say that unfortunately for this student, she is getting reading intervention. She's making progress, but I think that the system failed her. And to a certain extent, this is an issue of equity because in Allentown School District, where 73% of families are Hispanic and 67% of kids are eligible for free and reduced lunch, all children should have very high quality science of reading based intervention services. So I think I'm encouraging everyone in the room to please prioritize funding for early reading, to seek those grants, to serve our children. I know that there are lots of amazing things happening in Allentown School District that I'm very proud of, and I really think it would be really wonderful to continue to look for that funding for early literacy, science-based, high-quality literacy intervention. Okay, thank you.
You.
Good evening. My name is Paula Lapp. I'm an early literacy intervention specialist for grades K to 2 at Ramos Elementary. As you are aware, our position was a 3-year grant funded position, which ends at the end of this school year. So before a decision is made to dissolve the position, I just want to take a few minutes to share with you the impact on at-risk students that we work with every day of what it has on them. We provide small group instruction using research-based phonological phonemic awareness decoding program to improve these early literacy skills for these at-risk first and second grade students. At Ramos, during the 2022-23 school year, I serviced 57 first and second grade students. Small group intervention equates to, in my day, 7 small group sessions, 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes each. These students went from 0% proficiency on the DIBELS basic indicator of early literacy skills to 49% proficiency at the end of the year. 50% of those students exited the Tier 2 intervention by the end of last year. Also, during the last year's school year, our STAR reading first and second grade scores increased from a baseline of those students were 28% proficient to 40% proficient by the end of the year. This school year, I'm servicing 50 at-risk first and second grade students in small group intervention. 75% of those first graders are students that were referred to the MTSS process by their classroom teacher in need of intervention. 60% of those second grade students I service were MTSS students referred by the classroom teacher. Thus far, because the data is not complete yet, as far as our STAR reading data for this year, our first and second grade students have increased from a baseline of 28% to 40% proficient. In order for these at-risk students to continue to make these gains each year, it's imperative that each elementary school has an early literacy intervention specialist so that every first and second grade student has the tools that they need to become successful readers. If this position is dissolved at Ramos, our school would be left with 1 intervention specialist who currently serves grades 3 through 5 at-risk students, also seeing 7 groups a day for 30 minutes each. We also have a reading specialist, but that reading specialist is split between 2 buildings, so she's only at Ramos 2 days. So before the position is dissolved, I hope that we consider the huge impact it's going to have on early literacy for our littlest guys of losing an early literacy intervention specialist. That would have great effect. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for giving me the time to speak. My granddaughter is in 4th grade and she was originally at Roosevelt Elementary. She received 2 death threats with her name on the outside of the letters. The first letter said, "I have a gun and I will shoot you and kill you." The second letter said, "I hope you die, never come back, and I will stab you until you die." She's afraid to sleep. I work 3rd shift. My mom has to stay up with my granddaughter every night because of this. She has panic attacks. She can no longer go past Roosevelt Elementary. Just for her to go to a new school, we have to go different routes. She cannot even go by the school because she goes into a frenzy. According to the code of conduct that we are given in the beginning of the year, bullying, page 50, policy 249, all 3 of them apply to it. The infraction description on page 36, all 4 of them apply. According to the code of conduct again, the administration's responsibility on page 19. We had called and came here with my granddaughter, and we were supposed to be seen. They discussed a little bit. We were never called back. We had to go to the police station twice to prosecute these children because they were 10 years or older. We had to go to the state representative's office several times for them to call here to call my mother back and myself about this going on. They wanted my granddaughter to go back into the school with the kids that threatened her and said, I am going to kill you. I am going to shoot you. This is wrong. And why is it that she is being bullied and this is calculated? This is not like a simple, I'm going to, hit you, break your nose, something else like this. These are visible threats that were taken and they thought about it before they did it. This is not fair. If we have a code of conduct, why are the students that are the victims being put down on the floor and we have to move them to another school instead of the kids that physically threatened to harm her life? This is not something simple with a gun or a knife. This is serious business. And one of the people here from the administrator, because we're not allowed to speak names, I said to him in the school in Roosevelt, so what is going to be done about it? He said, basically, there's going to be some things put into place. I said, well, I would like to know what they are if I want because they wanted my granddaughter to come back here. He said, I'm sorry, I can't tell you. It doesn't involve you. Yes, it does. We have custody of my granddaughter and we've had her since she's 2 years old. So we have those rights, but something needs to be done about these bullies because this is not fair. It is not fair.
Good evening, Dr. Burks and Board of Directors. My name is Beth Klingborg. I'm an early literacy interventionist in the district. Next month, I will be finishing my 35th year in the Allentown School District. I'm not ready to retire just yet. I love my job, truly. I've attended numerous board meetings in person and virtually over the course of my career. However, I never came to speak at a meeting. But I didn't want to miss this opportunity to speak about something I feel so passionately about. Forgive me if I'm a little nervous. I usually speak to audiences of people under the age of 8. So, as an early interventionist, first we are responsible for identifying who needs extra reading support. Students are administered a beginning of a year benchmark assessment and then homogeneously grouped based on needs. Lessons are tailored to their needs and then generated. Students receive daily instruction and are progress monitored after 10 lessons. Next, a new set of lessons are generated based on progress monitoring data. After several bursts, as we call them, it is determined whether the student will continue to receive intervention with us or if enough progress has been made to be monitored in the regular classroom without extra daily support. New students who come to our school and are struggling academically are added to our groups. Students who are referred to our child study team due to academic concerns receive intervention and data is collected to determine if additional help is needed or if the student needs formal testing for learning support services. As an early interventionist, we communicate closely with the classroom teacher, collaborating with them and providing them with ongoing data. As early interventionists, we communicate and work closely with our building's principals, assistant principals, and child study team, providing them with feedback on referred students' progress and current data. We communicate with parents, attending student conferences, making phone calls, or sending messages to parents. Personally, I have 2 Class Dojo pages where several times a week I provide information, resources in the form of links, short videos, and support for parents to assist with their child's success. I see that parents are reading my posts and based on their messages, finding the information valuable. Last week, I learned that next school year, the district would not be funding my position along with 13 other K-2 intervention specialists in our elementary schools. We have a valuable job and are needed in this district. Early reading interventions is critical to the success of our youngest learners, particularly our incoming first graders who are younger than in years past. Early intervention provides important foundational skills and allows students to get help before reading problems become severe. Early reading interventions can help students who have difficulty when learning to read and increase students' learning over a short period of time. Among other positive effects, early literacy interventions can transfer into other areas of the curriculum, such as math and science. Our youngest learners in ASD need early intervention, and I have seen the benefits of it firsthand. I've thoroughly enjoyed working with small groups, and I'm hopeful I see it return in the future. Can I just finish? I have one little bit left. I just come here tonight and ask for you to find a way to fund these important positions. We should not overlook our most vulnerable students. It would be a disservice to not provide equitable services compared to neighboring school districts for these amazing students who just need a little extra time, help, or attention. The K-2 intervention specialists are of vital importance to the success of our youngest learners. There have been so many positive changes in this district over the past 2 years that benefit our students. I would love to see the benefit of early intervention continue for our students as well. Thank you for the extra time.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd just like to have Mr. Singh and Ms. Smith come to the microphone and talk a little bit about ESSER's funding and where we are as an organization as it relates to our budget process. This will address these positions that they're discussing. And as we know, when these positions, I'll let them talk about it because they have more fact concretely about there are a number of positions that are ESSER's funded. And we're in the midst of the budget process now with each school and each department and thinking about which positions. No one's going to lose their job. We do have positions across the district that we have to repurpose so that we can make sure that we balance our budget. So there are we have tons, and schools have various resources from literacy specialists to reading, different positions. So principals, we are empowering them also to make the decisions that support their schools. So we're going to speak to facts like the concretely, and then we'll give you a chance to answer questions. But I just want to explain broadly so the public doesn't walk away with we're eliminating positions, because we have positions, we have to prioritize because we have a lot of positions, and we have to balance the budget because we have a gap in the budget now because we are losing the ESSER's funding, in which we've explained. So they're going to explain this to you factually, and then we can give the board more information and come back and tell you how many we have a large number of them, and we have to just make strategic decisions, but inclusive of school communities.
Yeah, to emphasize Dr. Burke's point, at this time of year, our school teams, our academic teams, HR and finance are tasked with coming together to evaluate staffing options based on student enrollment, based on class size, based on programs. For these particular positions are funded through ESSERS, which is a grant that expires in September of 2024. So we have to evaluate that whole broad scope of staffing options across all those schools, all those programs. And this is a position where the funding source is no longer viable for us.
Thank you. I would like to clarify, first of all, good evening. This ESSER grant that we are talking about is not our ESSER 3 grant. This is a specific grant that was funded by the Pennsylvania Department of Education for learning loss. So this is their positions, early literacy intervention specialists, were funded under the learning loss ESSER grant. And that also, as Mr. Singh said, ends at September 30th, 2024.
And again, we can give the board all the positions that we have to make strategic decisions about across the district, because we're not taking away resources, but we also are including the principals in the decision-making. Each school is able, the CEO of their schools, working with their school their supervisors to think through how do we balance the budget off of the courses that we do and make sure that we sustain the organization. So like I said, I want to underscore that it hasn't been like, we're just going to get rid of positions. We have to look across and balance the budget. So no decision has been, and we've also talked with, as a district, we can assign teachers as needed across the district. So we want to also make sure we're not over, we have a lot more staff than we have dollars as well as need. And we offered a lot more new courses across the district as well. So we have to make strategic decisions. And none of them, again, have been finalized to date. But we have until June 7th to notify teachers. So we have been in communication with their union president and the union representatives, informing them for quite some time that we know we're under obligation to tell them about an assignment before June 7th. And so we were trying to be respectful to allow people to make decisions, decide, have choice of where they go, as opposed to, we know that we may not have the resources for that because the funding is no longer available, which we put up front before we assign people to those roles.
So when you say don't have funding for that, we're not talking about literacy. We're just talking about it may not look like what it looked like before because it was funded differently. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Can you talk a little bit more, Ms. Smith, about the types of reading?
I want to also make a comment too, because first question that came to mind, this is our meeting, so we can talk openly, is I was wondering where all of this is coming from. Like every time we get ready to make a change within the district for us to get better, people get really uptight and get afraid and feel like we're going in the wrong direction, when all actuality, we may very well be going in the right direction. Because I've been on this board for 7 years and I hit the ground of Pennsylvania in 2010, and I wasn't impressed with any of the learning that was going on as it relates to math and reading. And so my question would be, even before you speak, Ms. Smith, is where are we now? What does our reading levels look like with the money that we did have? Are we like teetering on the line where we need to be? Are we below? Are we doing a commercial for something that we really shouldn't be doing a commercial for? Because again, we're graduating students.
I can't read.
We have graduated students that couldn't read, and that meant and past that 3rd grade. And I'm education, and I'm passionate about it. I'm not, if you're gonna step on my toes, I'm gonna step on yours too, so that we can make sure that we get better together for real. So it's my understanding that we had the ESSERs, it's gone. Everybody who was receiving money with the ESSERs, they knew about it. That's not new. We knew that every good thing comes to an end. But it's also my understanding that this district, this board, under the direction of this board, has to find money so that we continue to do better with our kids. We have a lot of 3rd graders, 4th graders, 5th graders that are struggling. We have high schools. I'm gonna say it over and over and over when we talking about reading now, but when we even talk about math, they can't get some of these jobs or can't do these, accept some of these opportunities because we collectively have failed them. So what I'm gonna hear you, but what I want everybody in this room to do, if this is really why you're here, 20 years, my mother used to say 2 hours, 20 minutes, 20 years, same number. Okay. But regardless, if we're going to be here and we're going to do the right thing by our kids, by educating them, then we need to own our own stuff, because I'm not impressed with what we've done thus far. I'm just being real honest. So I'm going to listen to what you have to say so that we can reiterate the direction that we're going in. We're repurposing. We're not looking to get rid of anyone, especially the ones that are going to educate our students. That's what we're here for. We're not here for a paycheck, because I haven't got mine yet. We're here to educate the students. So if you would, Ms. Smith.
Thank you, Ms. Conover. So with our ESSER funding, we did more than just provide positions. We invested in professional learning.
Speak up a little bit.
Sorry, we invested in professional learning. If you remember, our kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade teachers were trained in letters for their early literacy techniques. So again, intervention and core instruction are separate, and we work to improve our core as we were providing support to students that missed schooling due to COVID. So we had two different streams going there. We do have high quality interventions, esoteric interventions in the elementary school that both intervention specialists were using. So we do have a non-ESSER funded intervention specialist in buildings as well. So we've been using those high quality intervention materials. As you know, as a board, you've invested a lot of money into core curricular materials this year. So we are continuing to have our professional learning around those materials and what instruction looks like around the instructional core. So we have all of those things in place. So it's a puzzle, and we've used our ESSER funds in many ways in order to improve the quality of instruction and for the success of our students. We have on-demand tutoring. I talked to a parent last night about doing high-dosage tutoring this summer with her child over the summer. So we have on-demand tutoring. You have counselor. You have many resources supporting our students in many different ways is how we used our ESSER funds.
So my question is not really to ask how we use ESSER funds, because I think I personally sat through enough meetings as it relates to ESSER funds. It's here, it's going. You know, I knew about that. That part is not new, right? But what I want to know is I want to know, where are we in terms of with reading? Where were we 2 years ago as opposed to where we are now? You know what I mean? And where are we going? I just, what I'm having a problem with, and I'm just being transparent, is every time we take a step in the right direction, there's some kind of opposition. And I don't know if it's just that we as adults, we don't like change. You know, I don't like nobody to sit in my chair. You know, I understand that. But in order for us to move forward, we have to be more, we have to be able to come along. You know, I can understand if you feel like, if I'm speaking to everybody, I'm speaking to my colleagues, but I'm just being honest. I can understand if you're like, wait a minute, we've been doing it this way, but this doesn't look right. Sometimes we got to come along a little bit, right? The ESSER's money is gone. That's a given. It's nothing we can do because it's done. But now we have to push, like many of you stood up here and said, we have to find the money so that we can be able to, and we got that. We're all on the same page as far as that's concerned. But we're not the bad people, okay? Because I do all these hours that I do for free. I told you a long time ago, I get paid out of outcomes. So I'm here so that we can all get better together. I can make you better. So we're not against you, we're really for you. So I just want that, if somebody says, you know what that board is doing, they ain't doing nothing, girl, we ain't gonna have a job next week, that's a lie from hell.
Amen.
Because that's not the goal. The goal is to educate our kids, and we want everybody to pull together so that we can do just that. And I'm not gonna waste no more anyone's time tonight, but I think I waste that time well. It's not about us, it's about our kids.
Amen.
Ms. Brown, did you have something?
So the reality is, right, I'm just gonna say personally, my oldest child, she's no longer a child, but my oldest human that I birthed is 26, and all my kids have came through the district. And I've said for a long time that we can't say that it's the student's fault when the entire district is failing as a whole. And since I've been a board member, this is my 3rd year. And recently, since you've been here, Dr. Burks, we had presentation after presentation showing us the data that our students are not doing better. So this is not to pick blame, but the reality is we are here to make change.
To do better.
And yeah. So that is exactly what we're gonna do. That's all I have to say.
Are there any other comment cards? In that case, is there any old business to come before us? Right, we do have an item of new business. This is the item that we added to the agenda at the beginning of the meeting, asking whether we will approve the flexible instruction day plan so it can be filed at the Pennsylvania Department of Education by June 1st. Is there a maker for that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a seconder?
Second, Lisa Conover.
We have maker and seconder. Is there any discussion? Then call the roll, please.
Yes.
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 Thank you. I hope everybody has a very.
No, I have new business, something else.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. You have another item, new
I
business?
have another item, I
apologize.
sure
Go
do. I
ahead.
promise I won't keep you long. So this is a conversation that we're getting ready to have, and I don't want nobody to run out of here saying, let me tell you what Ms. Conover said. We're all in this together, so let me just tell you real quick. So there was a email that was received from DIRF, and I have a lot of respect for our new leader.
Sorry.
But I want to, with my colleagues, because we have one employee, that we need to make a change, because in that email, it said that the students couldn't, let me see what it said. The students couldn't wear sashes, they couldn't wear sunglasses. It was very, very controlling, very inappropriate, just inappropriate, in my opinion. I'm only one person. This is not a dictatorship. I respect the children as just as much as I expect the adults in this room. But we all make mistakes. So this is not a judgment conversation. So I don't want y'all going back to the leader, because the leader usually has somebody that work under them, and work under them. But it has to be corrected. I do not want to put any and like I said, we can make a decision together, our board members. I want our graduates to feel good about themselves when they get ready to walk across that stage. I don't want, unless PPL Center says you can't have a balloon or a flower or a rose, there's nobody in this room that should be able to tell a kid they can't receive what their parents has for them. And so, you know, that's something that we need to talk about. We have graduation that's right here. And it's something that I feel like we should create urgency, Dr. Burks. But I do want to hear from you. You may not agree with me. But we do want to give our leaders autonomy. So I'm not trying to dictate, but in full
Can I say something before
disclosure,
you do?
my kid goes to that school, but it's not even about him.
Mine as
You
well.
know, but I just want to say that I just feel like all of our kids should be able to feel good about themselves. So there was,
One moment, Lisa, I wanted to say something before Dr. Burks. In the past, because I've been doing this for 7 years, children have worn their sashes. I've seen children wear sashes from their village. I've seen them wear it from their country.
well, let me read this first and then you
Okay,
can,
go ahead.
because some people are probably saying, what is this woman talking about?
Mhm.
So it says that, thank you for helping us reinforce graduation dress requirements, reinforcing graduation dress requirements. No sunglasses, sashes, flags, or other outerwear may be worn. Only DRF issue items are allowed to be worn. Decorations and caps is permitted. And it goes on to tell you that, you know, don't wear your wrinkle stuff. But at any rate, then it goes down and it says, the following items are not permitted: balloons, air horns, and oversized posters. And it starts to talk and tell people, which is condescending in my opinion, in my opinion only, this is graduation etiquette. Please respect this one, that one. In my opinion, how my brain works, I don't need to tell everybody in this room to act a certain way. If somebody in this room does not act appropriately, I think that one should pull that one person to the side and address it. I don't think everybody should be chastised or spoken to in that manner. So my ask tonight, from my board members, my colleagues, you don't belong to me, but my colleagues, I have to be conscious of what I say too as well, is that we make a correction because we want our kids to feel welcome. The other thing is, today was the first day that what is the thing, the detectives rolled out.
No,
Was it today?
it was yesterday or 2 days
What is the
ago.
first, today was the first day I saw it.
I think it was 2 days ago.
Yeah,
Well, I happened to be
This
at the
week.
school and
Wednesday, yes, Wednesday.
and then there was a sign outside and it says weapon detectors in use. Remove laptops. I think that please should have been in there. That's not a hard word to spell out. See, when you give positivity, you get that back. And we don't realize it, but it's the small things that make our lives a lot easier. So I'm sure we can put please in there and we can fix that. I'm sure we can even fix the other thing, but I just wanted to speak to the board about, because it's not a policy. We don't have a policy, unless I missed it, that says they can't wear sashes and they can, you know. So I just wanna, that's my ask for tonight.
So I'm just going back to when we did have previous graduations where people did have their sashes on. They did have a sash with their flag on it, or posters in the audience. We all know that the PPI will not allow you to have balloons. because if you do come, they will have you put them outside. However, this is something people need to understand, and I don't get why we don't get it. You know, we have kids who are the first time graduates of their whole family. I know kids who are the first time graduates of their village that they came from. How dare we not allow this? This is their proud moment. 13 years of education. I'm standing up there in high heels just because they did this, and I am proud of them. How dare we give these kind of guidelines and this kind of language? That hurts. When I read that, I was hurt.
Well, I'm looking forward to, again, Dr. Burks, getting better together. You know, we all do silly things. We say things that, you know, maybe later on, you know, I do things now differently from the way I did them 20 years ago. You know, I've said some things 20 years ago that now when I look back, I was like, did I say that? You know, so we can get better. But I just felt really strong about that. That was one of the first things that I saw this morning. And I just couldn't believe that that was what I was looking at. And like I said, if we can, whatever we come up with tonight, I ask everybody who's under the sound of my voice, do not take negativity back. Do not make this part of your discussion as if someone did something wrong. Let's look at it as we found something that was not correct for our students, and we collectively corrected it if it's going to get corrected tonight.
Absolutely.
And Ms. Conover, I would like to say, Mrs. Conover, I would like to say, as all of you already know, I submitted a screenshot of individually to my colleagues of the same message. And I also had a conversation with Dr. Burks, and we discussed that she was gonna work and address that situation. Dr. Burks is not aware of everything that happens in the district, just like the board is not aware of everything that happens in the district. However, what I would like to say is, I often do not tell people that I'm a board member, right? I don't really care to tell people that, like, I just don't. But as a parent, when I received that email, I responded to the email and asked several questions with the hope that I was going to receive some type of response. And I'm still waiting. I have not received a response. So, but this is not to say, you know, anything negative and to, you know, just create controversy around, you know, the email, but it's just to give the students the opportunity, because I don't know, I'm so proud of them. You know, when I was working today, I got a FaceTime message from students at Dara, from like, Ms. Brown, what's going on? Like, why y'all trying to take our shine from us? Like, this is our opportunity. And again, this is what equity looks like, because when you strip students, or anyone for the matter, you know, of their identity, which, as you said, those sashes of representation of where they're from is a form of stripping them of their identity, which maybe I should say or shouldn't say, it is a form of discrimination. So we have to be mindful of what we say and how we say those things. And as it relates to that sign, we do have to be mindful of the language, because we don't want not only to dictate, but we don't want to seem like we're policing our kids. And, you know, it's not a prison system, it's a school system. So whenever there's an issue, it's not that it has to be a negative thing, but we have to learn to look at conflict or problems as an opportunity to change whatever these issues are. So, you know, again, as you said, we're not here to just throw gas, you know, on the issue, but we're here to address it and make sure that, I mean, within a short time, it had to come before, you know, the board and be said here, but collectively together, you know, this needs to happen and have these type of conversations. So thank you. I'm done. Sorry.
That's okay. I was just waiting. So as you're aware, the academic institutions have set standards for years of what they expect at graduation. So this is not like any other institution. At the school level, because the board does not have a policy, so I want to make sure that we don't walk away that the dear of principal is doing it, because this has been a practice in this district for many years. before Dr. Burks got here. So I know it probably didn't raise to the board level because it's heightened as it is right now, but it has been a practice in the district. So I did inquire when I found out about this last night. And of course, we had a few things this morning that dismissed school and everything else. So that's why I'm going to address it now. So there is a committee of administrators that meet, not with the superintendent. This was a collective decision in order to maintain a certain level of class, and it wasn't intended for anyone to offend anyone's culture, heritage, ethnicity, or anything like that, but in order to ensure that we don't have offensive things, because we don't have a policy. So I know I honor people who come from all over the world, but we have to set a standard. So we say they can wear their cultural things that represent their countries and things of that nature. It's one thing, but if we have kids put profanity, what difference are we making? So in this letter, like I said, Dr. Burks didn't see this letter, and that's why I have leaders. I want to make this clear. I don't see every single paper that leaves the organization. So with that said, I will have the committee go back. We can get some rationale, but again, we have to set some standards. And to my understanding, because I'm still fairly new to the district, that there have been issues as it relates to gangs and problems, and we don't want to have people. What I was just telling you, what I was told. So okay.
With all due respect, right? This is my third child graduating from Allentown School District. I've been to many graduations. My kids that are not my kids. And we recently went to a graduation. I haven't seen that. However, if that is the case, that is what should have been stated. If we don't want any garments of profanity, representation of gangs, mention that. But that's not, but in all honesty, if we saying that's what the issue is, then we identify what the issue is. We can't say, if I want to, for instance, my son was Juneteenth King, and he is last year, and he's going to wear his sash that says Juneteenth King, because it is an honor to him to have that title. But I even thought about as a, mom wearing a sash with my son's name on it. But again, if we're going to be a representation, whatever we wear, right?
That's a lie.
I know it's
I'm
lie.
stuck with the people lying. I'm
I know.
concerned with the committee, because if the committee came to you,
No, I inquired.
I mean, if it came up the chain and they told you that Lisa Conover said that they're lying, okay? Because this is my 7th year, will be my 7th graduation. We never had those issues. And so what I'm also going to say, that if that's what they're saying, then that means that's somebody that I'm going to be looking at with a side eye, because that means they don't have our kids' best interests at heart. That's not the narrative that we're trying to run with. Now, you're new. You're here 2 years, right?
And so is
the principal's here 2 days. I got some concerns. So now there needs to be an investigation over there at that school, because if they're telling you that we have issues with gang activity, or this is a lot from hell. I said, you know how many hands I shake at a graduation?
All of them.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
And if this is what they're telling you, and I'm saying this with passion, Dr. Burks.
I understand. You always have passion.
If this is what they're telling you, this is a lie. It ain't, they made a mistake. They're lying.
I'll agree to that. They're
Okay.
And to address the issue with the not being intentional, to disrespect someone's culture or discrimination, you don't have to be intentional about doing it, but we have to be mindful, because not all people have an understanding that they have unconscious biases. So whenever we're making decisions, this is something that needs to already be implemented within our policy, so we can make sure that we're not breaking any civil rights laws, and making sure that we're covering every jurisdiction of protected classes. That's a form of a protected class. So we have to be mindful of that.
And that's the same school that wouldn't allow our students to decorate their hats for the longest time.
Well,
we had to fight for
so
that.
2 years ago,
We had to fight
which
for that.
I had another kid that graduated 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But again, it was never an issue.
I'm going to ask the solicitor, how do we vote?
We can't.
We can't vote on nothing?
Not here tonight.
No.
Because it would have to be on the agenda, right?
And
So what do we need to do? We need to call a special meeting? Because I don't even trust that committee that we talking about.
I don't either.
And I know you are one employee. but this is something that has to be handled. I'm ruling to come back tonight.
Because we had to bring that to the board.
I don't
But
believe.
But
we
I'm
can
just
do that
saying,
without the
we
board.
need to create urgency, because if they're gonna sit there and if they're gonna say that that's what happened, I got a problem with it.
Ma-
We need 24 hours notice in a newspaper of general circulation to have a special meeting. I don't know if we probably cannot get a special meeting in to the morning call, probably until Saturday at the earliest.
So we need to call us, well, that's a holiday.
And
So
it's
the
a holiday
graduation
weekend.
is when?
The 11th. The 11th.
Yeah, but may I just
Yes.
say something? I still want to make sure, because we're in a public meeting and it's being recorded, that we're not walking away that this is a DERF-specific matter.
It is there.
It is.
No,
Well, the email was.
you got the email from DERF,
Yeah.
but it's a collective thinking about practices that have happened
But
in
I
this
don't-
district for many years. Just because you
But
didn't
that's
raise,
not true.
not just DERF, I wasn't here.
but
I'm just
listen-
telling what
listen to
people
what I'm
have been
saying,
here
Dr.
told me.
Burks.
Yes,
I need you to hear
They
me.
told you they didn't.
yes.
I need you to hear me.
Sure.
I've been here 7 years and you're telling me you've been here 2 years, and I'm not going against you. I want you to hear me. That's not a practice, because I was here.
That students were advised, I want to make sure we're clear about the language we're saying, that students were told at all the high schools, maybe you didn't get it in writing, but they were told not to wear these things, and it's not uncustomary. So they probably were told, but you probably didn't, they
No,
didn't
they
get to
wasn't.
this
They
level of
wouldn't have
writing.
told me that.
at all
You
the
know how
3
many
high
kids
schools.
I had graduated that belong to, that's in my house?
And not only about the sashes, right? How do we tell parents, it's not a PPL policy, but how do we tell parents, you cannot have a poster to congratulate and celebrate your student?
Correct.
Like, listen, I was praise dancing when my oldest walked across that stage. If I could have had a poster board, I would. And
Right.
I'm not trying to make this about me, but it's a celebration. So how do you tell someone you can't celebrate? So
In 2019, my son graduated. I didn't see anything like that.
So
And it wasn't instructed for him.
this is
at-
my recommendation. This is, I'm concerned about it going back to committee.
Well, the district administration
Director.
does have the authority under section 510 of the school code to promulgate rules and regulations on a regular basis to govern the deportment of students in the schools. The issue is whether you as a board want to essentially modify the authority of the district administration to accomplish that. That's a governance decision that you need to make as a school board under the circumstances. And I don't recommend that you do that on a building basis, because for all you know, certain other similarities are going on in other buildings, and that becomes a very unwieldy issue to address.
Ma'am?
But yes, Dr. Burks?
So when you're finished with the law, and then I just want to make a recommendation after
Okay.
you're finished with the law.
But clearly the administration does have authority under the school code to make those changes in much the same way as the administration on a regular basis exercised that authority during the pandemic in terms of making student health-related decisions and the like. It's the same legal authority that exists.
Right. So if the board would please allow the administration, again, at the central office level, read all the rules that were identified here, talk with the school committee, the administration, make some modifications, and if the board wants to have a policy later, but given where we are at this point in time, the administration, and I get to represent all, is willing to look at this, modify the areas that seem to be the areas of contention and pain and all that for people, so that we can move on with the graduation and think more broadly. I would hate for us to make a decision in the midst of lots of passion and emotion that can impact other things, as the solicitor suggested, when we make these types of decisions. So what I hear is sash this, no glasses. If the board wants them to wear glasses, we'll go back, we'll say, wear whatever you want to wear, do whatever you want to do. But I think we need to get to the bigger picture as to when we make decisions that we're looking broadly at the organization.
So I'm looking broadly. So the letter came, so just for clarity purposes, so nobody's confused. I'm talking about the district, every school, building 21. William,
Just said,
yeah,
why
so
don't we
they,
do- yes.
so we don't have to go back to them because they already lied once. That's a lie.
But we need to go back to them since the board has such passion about this. We're talking basically the eve of graduation to get people back around the table to go through a policy. We don't want, I don't think it's in our best interest to go and make a policy just because we're passionate right now without looking at every aspect that touches it. So we can just say, don't do whatever you want. In administration, because the board feels this way.
shouldn't be do
we'll say,
whatever you
No,
want.
meaning all these things right here.
No, I'm not
Okay.
interested in, I'm not interested in policy right now. I'm not talking about
But
policy.
that's all you do.
What I want.
Wait, policy.
I'm clear. There was a letter that came out from Deriff, and I'm gonna assume that the same letter went out based on your committee's report. I'm assume that Building 21 got that letter. I'm assume that William Allen got the letter. Every high school graduating class got that letter. And so I don't need a policy to tell them that that is not what's gonna happen. That the kids can wear their sashes, they can wear their glasses. So all the things that I disagree with in that letter, we disagree, if that's what the board feels, then that's what that's what I need for you to translate
That's
to
what I
them.
said, Ms. Conover. I
across the
said it, but
district.
that's why I said that Ms. Brown said, no, you can't do whatever you want. That is, all those things that you said gives people kind of free reign to do what they would like to do. Because many of these things are on here. Most institutions don't allow it, but that's okay. But we'll defer
But
to
that
the
has
board.
not since, I don't know, since I've been living in Allentown, since I've been.
And I
graduating.
Never had a problem before, so why
Has
are we
not
bringing it
been.
now?
But what I'm
Right.
saying is, if there's a dress code, this is what they stated, it was gang related. That's not necessarily true, because if you say they can decorate their caps, they can decorate their caps gang related information.
I don't even want to entertain it.
I'm just making a point. You can't say one without the other. It
I
doesn't
don't-
make sense. It's a lie.
I don't want to entertain bull crap.
Right.
This is bull.
That's it.
I've been in this world for 56 years and I know bull when I see it.
What will work for the fact we're on a time schedule?
Yes, that's why I said, we'll say they can wear all the things. Yes, and
Then we
then
can-
we look at it later and look at policy and all
The
these
same
things.
email out. That email came out in 2 seconds. Send the same email saying it's a retraction. Just please disregard, because that's not a policy right now. It's just somebody feeling strong about something, and it ain't. And the board, I'm one board member. I don't agree with it. Do you agree with it?
No,
Any board members agree with that letter?
no,
But you
because
can't
we
take a
never
vote.
had that problem
It's
before.
not a vote. It's a discussion.
It's practice and procedure, and we've never had that problem. So why is the practice and procedure now different? We never, I'm sorry, 2019, my son graduated. All the other years, we did not, I did not see that come out.
So the administration, thank you, is willing to send out in emails or to our school leaders, because they are the people who work with the children on the front line, and have them say, students can wear glasses, all these things that are here, they can do all those things. And so I think that we should move forward and look at more broadly on our policies and practices. But for this graduation right here, we'll get together, the people who supervise
Thank you.
principals to get that done.
Thank you.
Exactly. That was my
That's
goal.
different.
Thank you.
That works?
Yes.
Okay. All right, in that case, may I have a motion to adjourn?
I make that motion.
So move.
All in favor?
Aye.
And everybody, please have a good holiday.
Thank you. Same to you.